what's going on? What's up? You're all very welcome to Buckshot, episode 34 for the 15th of November 2017. Tom O'Mahony here. How are you? You're all very, very welcome. Thanks for joining me, lads. Thanks for joining me, sticking with me. We're growing in numbers. As a little army, we're growing in numbers. It's great. Just a pre-warner, in case the fucking dog leaps all over. She's sitting here beside me. She's a relatively kind of good dog. She doesn't give too much shit or bark and stuff like that. But she may have a meltdown. Also, you'll hear the fire crackling in the background to make it properly Christmassy. It's just good and fucking warm in this room. I'm recording this the night before. Cause the 14th, because tomorrow is fucking bananas. I'm out the door. I'm heading to, as you'll be listening to this, I'm heading to Edinburgh to open for the mighty Tom Stade tonight in Edinburgh, and then tomorrow night, Thursday night, in where the fuck? Liverpool, Laughter House in Liverpool. Anyway, this is your first time joining. You're all very welcome. You've clearly found the fucking thing, or you wouldn't be hearing this at all. Click subscribe, jump on board. It seems to be more and more people are listening to it very quickly, straight away, so that's great. I might actually get this out tonight. I should save me some fucking time in the morning so I'm not running around like a blue arse fly. As always, as they say, the old housekeeping. You can find me anywhere. Tom O'Mahony, just fucking type in Tom O'Mahony comedian fucking podcast and you'll find it pretty much. But like that, Tom O'Mahony comedy on Instagram, Tom O'Mahony comedy on Facebook, and Tom Bear O'Mahony on Chatty Snaps. The Chatty Snaps people do take that seriously, so yeah, follow me on that if that's your thing. Fucking anything else, just email me, buckshotpodcast@gmail.com or Tom O'Mahony comedy @gmail.com. There we are. That's it. Podcast on Twitter. You like that? Fuck me. You don't need me to hold your hand. You'll get right to it if you just type in Tom O'Mahony or O'Mahony for those people who. But again, you would have seen it in the description of this, my name. So you probably found it regardless through some social media fucking form anyway. Christ. Did my check-in. Just did the flight check-in. Ryanair do seem to have. They have their shit together when it comes to the old app where you can just. You don't have to print the shit off because, of course, like everybody's house, the printer is always out of fucking ink. It just on its last fucking. Of course, it's because I flew. It was a last minute thing, and so I had flying out with Aer Lingus in the morning, and then flying back with Ryanair Friday morning. Of course, would you think Aer Lingus have an app, or you can even log in? It's the weirdest thing. They didn't ask for any passport, nothing. They're like, yeah, you're grand, which I like in a sense, but at the same time, I'm gone used to being asked for all this shit. So ask for all the shit. But what do you want me to bring a fucking scalp of paper to the fucking airport for? Like, just let me do it all on the phone. See, I'm getting quite techie, lads. I'm getting very techie. No, I'm not, for fuck's sake. Anybody who's listened to this before realise that even recording this is probably a major feat for my stupidity when it comes to techie stuff. But yeah, anyway, very excited this Friday night. Buckshot, the final Irish leg is going to be in Peachtree East. And that's looking good. A good few lads were sharing his fucking sound out on their social medias and stuff. But it does seem to be they've sold well for tickets there anyway. So that's great. Great. Be a nice way to fucking finish the week. Come back Friday morning, the 17th. I come back from Liverpool, and then I think I'm doing some radio thing that evening. Yeah, I think I am. Oh jeez, I better confirm that. Holy fuck. Although the old roaming charges aren't too bad nowadays, so I'll leave on the old mobile data because that's what a fucking gangster it is. Do you remember that year, like even last year, leaving on your mobile data abroad at all, driving up to Belfast? Holy fuck, €60 on your bill. But it's not so bad nowadays, and every place kind of has Wi-Fi anyway. But better get to the fucking bottom of that. I'm supposed to be on 2FM Friday. Fuck. Anyway, it'll be. Shall look it. Fuck it. Be alright. We won't stress about it, as the man says. Let there be no panic. And then, of course, Saturday then I'm down to this Saturday. Where the fuck am I going this Saturday? Oh yeah, I'm down to do a judgy thing for At Home in Tipperary. Not for my club at all. It's for Paul Marsh, my good mate and comedian Paul Marsh's home club. And there was one of my first guests, and now good friend Brendan Cummins, the Tipperary All-Star. And I don't know who the other judge is. Basically, it's just acting the fucking bollocks. just saying whatever crazy shit comes into your head. It's actually really, really fun. It's not half as... Like, people kind of want to have the piss pulled out of them because they're all just taking the piss anyway. It's to raise money for the club, I think. Sunday then, herself has a Christmas fair, so I'll probably be dressed as an elf or something for Sunday, so why not? I don't give a fuck. And then Monday, I'm definitely on... Yeah. Why am I telling you my entire fucking week? I'm telling you this more so for me. I'm actually voicing this out loud for me so I can actually have it logged somewhere. I know it's all written down somewhere. I.e. on the notes on the phone, and I definitely do have a hard copy of all this shit. But I know I'll be on the 6 o'clock show on Monday. Don't know why they want me on to promote my English show, which is on the 25th, next Friday. But they want to talk about it, so maybe some diaspora relations might be listening to it. But and then I have a gig that night, all right, inside in Whelan's, but for the Cherry Comedy Club. But then Tuesday morning, I'm away to London, and yeah, hopefully I'll be able to bang out a podcast or two and see what I can do for podcasts. But I definitely will get out a podcast like fucking Tuesday morning or whatever. I'll get something out to you next week. But anyway, sure, this one. How was the week for me? Gig wise, it was quiet. I did a gig in town, just trying some new stuff. But I also, the wife's brother, brought us to an all-you-can-eat Chinese in Dundrum town centre, which is, for anybody out not from Ireland, it's a massive shopping mall that is the most intense fucking place for somebody like me. Oh my good Jesus Christ, just humanity everywhere. It's a fuck of a place, like, it really is. I've been out there a few times, like, because Spin 103, the radio station, 2 guests ago, Cormac Moore, when he worked for him, every so often they'd be on location out there, so they have a studio out there, and they'd bring me out, and I could just walk straight in one door and straight up to the studio. This, we had to walk through the whole thing to get to, oh my God, just humans everywhere, every fucking corner of the place. Brightly lit, bright music. Like, there was a fucking brass band playing in the middle. Like I don't mind a brass band, but what the fuck are you doing? Is this like, what mouth breathers are going, yay, a brass band as I stand here, I'm gonna shop and buy more shit. It's like there's a brass band out in the main thoroughfare, we'll call it, and then straight across the corridor there's a woman setting up a guitar and a fucking amp inside in a clothes shop. And then, like, 5 shops up, there's a guy with, like I said, a DJ deck. What the decks? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, are people that fucking simple that, like, these sort of little facets would actually make them buy more shit? Like, fuck. I know what I want when I land at the fucking... If I have to go to a shopping centre, I know exactly what I want, and I pretty much know where it fucking is too. Jesus, to think that, like, that would actually put me off. I go, no, I'm not going in. Maybe I'm just a fucking weirdo. Tweet me, fucking Snapchat me. Tell me that that's a thing you like. Or if you agree with me and you think this is one of the most fucking stupid things. Like, who the fuck is getting influenced by a DJ in a shop? Oh, I'm just going to play some records here. No big deal. You want to buy some jeans? Sure. Why not buy 2 pairs? Wiki. What the fuck right off? It's like, oh... Just, it's all, the whole place is such a corporate fucking big fucking anus, basically, that just wants to shit products all over you. God almighty, that was disgusting. I apologise for that analogy. I'm moving on. Fucking hell, what's wrong with me? The all-you-can-eat was exactly what you thought I would think it would be. It's Asian food to a degree, but it's Chinese primarily. It's fine. It's tasty, but then when you... I'm an idiot, you see. I will consume far too much, which I did do. So I left almost with a bad notion of the place because I ate too fucking much. But really, it was all my doing. Like, but more so, if I wish it was just a fucking restaurant out by itself. The fact that you have to trudge through this fucking, just this sludge of fucking humanity, like, just... Fucking people walking into each other with their mouths hanging open, staring in windows. People go there just to hang around. Like, get a fucking hobby. Do you know what I mean? Fuck. Friday night then was a bit of crack. I was in the 3 Arena, or the Point, as it used to be known as. for the Bama Bellator MMA show, which friend of the podcast, Richard Kiley, was main eventing. He was fighting Alex Lahore, and it was, I mean, I was there for Richard's fights, and it was one of the, like, holy fuck, I could do a whole podcast on just being there that night. Like, it was, fuck, like, the level of wannabe at it was fucking amazing. There was loads of normal folk at it, just normal people at it, but, like, I got sat at this one fucking point. I got sat beside this row of, I don't know what you'd call them. I don't know what you'd call these women. But I don't, like, what the actual fuck, like, wearing next to fucking nothing, taking, just the whole way through, taking selfies in front of the cage while there's a fight going on, like, dickheads. Completely out of their head on coke, because nobody has that level of confidence. Nobody has. And just a peacocking out of the women and the men strutting around the place like they were all kind of gangsters, and fellas like tapping fellas on the other fellas on the shoulder, like, did I get you sorted with that other thing? Yeah, drop you a call during the week, nice one, you know. And they're all strutting around, and everybody's just looking to see who's looking. Like, it's the weirdest kind of sporting event. I went to a boxing event before that was a bit like it, but this was ramped up to another level, because of course it's been utterly glamorized by, which is ironic, because most of the fighters, 99% of the fighters that I've ever met, are the most humble, normal blokes. Actually, ludicrously humble, not even normal, fucking abnormally humble, nice blokes who don't believe in trappings and all that shit. With these people, like I saw at least 4 fellas wearing polo necks. Do you know those little light wool polo necks that were in the 90s, like, chains outside them and everything, because McGregor has worn 1 or 2 of them. It's like, oh my god. Speaking of which, I moved from there and I ran into 2 blokes I knew. We sat together rather than that fucking dose, like, with these women just, where, like, you're going, who are you hoping to get? What bloke are you hoping to attract dressed like that and behaving like so obnoxiously, like these ones thought they were in fucking Vegas, like, do you know? But anyway, yeah, I'm sure pretty much everybody saw the Conor McGregor thing. I took a video of it, it was like, what the fuck? And I wouldn't normally have to, but everybody else had their phone out, and I went, alright, I'll video it. The guy just, oh my good Christ, he just ran in like Ric Flair in 1984 or something. Jumped into the cage, jumped on top of his fucking buddy. If anybody didn't see this, just Google it. It's fucking YouTube. It's the most maddest shit you'll ever see. He runs in like a fur hoodie. His mate was after winning the fight, so he jumped atop him all excited. The fight really wasn't that over. The other guy was panned out. But I mean, the decision had barely been made, like. And the ref was trying to pull him off the other guy. And then he copped who the ref was. And the ref was the same guy a couple of weeks ago that told McGregor to kind of like shut the fuck up and get away from the cage, because McGregor, he was over in Poland, McGregor's stablemate, Artem, was fighting, and he was just screaming through the cage at him, like, you know, and at the opponent. So, of course, he spotted who the ref was, same guy. He swung a dig at him. Oh my God, they threw him out of the cage. He walked around and jumped over the cage and threw another fucking lash at some other official. Oh my God. And then he just legged it back out again. Apparently, like, the car just pulled up outside. He ran past security like he was running into fucking he was late for mass. Nobody even checked him. Like, I know it's Conor McGregor, but at the same time, like, security, we all got patted down. Like, he just ran straight into the arenas, ran straight across the fucking concourse, and straight. It was just the most maddest shit. Like, I don't know what's going to come from it. I'm guessing he'll have to get some sanction. You can't be letting a fella's ego out of control like that. You just can't. You can't. Moving on then onto Saturday. That was good crack. I drove down to Cork on Saturday for the rugby match, which was on in Dublin, I know. But Heineken put on these things, and they hire me every so often to host. I don't know, did I talk about these before? Yeah, well, basically they're on in bars that are typically big sports bars or big rugby bars, and it'll be normally 2 legends of the past, like Mick O'Driscoll and John Kelly, who both played for Munster and Ireland. We had a bit of a powwow punditry for about 25 minutes before the match. Then we watched the match. Then at halftime, we had a bit more punditry, and then brought people up, and they played a game of the kit bag challenge, to race each other to see who could get on the fucking kit fast enough, and they got a free jacket or something. It was cool. It's cool. It's lovely. Back in the car and back up the country, but I think I may have preached about this before, but you can't leave Cork without getting... Like, Cork do chips better than anywhere in the country. I don't give a fuck. On a whole scale. On a genuine... I don't care what argument anybody can have, because I've lived in both cities. I lived in fucking all 4 of the major cities. And I can tell you here now, Cork, on a general across the board chipper standard is fucking streets ahead of anywhere. And the best of a lot of them that I've found is a place called the Fishwife. Mother of Jesus... Mother of G, you would step over your fucking mother for a bag of their chips. Oh, for fuck's sake, they're unreal. They're unreal. If anybody knows of a better chipper than that, I wanted to hear where it is and why. Because you cannot beat this fucking place. It's just shit hot. Shit hot. We went to see Thor. Finally got to see Thor on Sunday night. This is the madness of it. Like, you go to Liffey Valley here in Dublin, 29 quid for 2 tickets. I was just looking at it online, and a little further to go in the opposite direction to Mullingar. What was it? 15 quid. No, sorry, 16 quid for tickets. 16 quid versus, and it, no different. No fucking different. So we went to Mullingar, needless to say. And a very fucking funny film. Very, like, some real... You could tell there's Kiwi dry sense of humour in it, because you can tell the director that, just so good. I'm guessing everybody's fucking seen it at this stage. I won't drag this on any longer. Like I said, here, listen to this. If you're on Dublin Friday night, pop over to me. I'll be in Peachtree. Or put a call in. Just check it out. Check out my Facebook page. It's all over the fucking thing. Check out the whatchamacallit Instagram too. Or just type in Peachtree East. Peachtree is all one word. Or even if you don't press it all one word, it'll find it. Just make contact, reserve some tickets. Anybody listening from London or in the UK, pop on down to me the 25th. This is going to be some fucking hoolie. There's a couple of good mates coming that I haven't seen in a while. Some people that I've dealt with, spoken with over email, but never, worked with over email, but never actually contacted. So it looks like it's going to be a fair old bit of the diaspora are coming. But I'll be there for the week prior to it anyway. I'm there from Tuesday, gigging most of the nights, I think, except Friday night. Just doing spots around the city, like just banging out flyers and stuff, just to see can I get a final push, because I want to sell this motherfucker out. This is my last show. I'll be doing other gigs and stuff while rehearsing for the panto, but not during the panto, because the second I get home, it's straight into panto training. And you'll be hearing some interesting podcasts there, because I'm going to get some of the cast to do podcasts there. But yeah, 17th, Peachtree, 25th. Follow me on everything else if you feel like it. And just subscribe to this, share it around. Anyway. I'm very excited, by the way. I just started licking my own lips there. As if I'd start licking somebody else's fucking lips as you. Tom, would you wake up, you fucking idiot? Backstrap venison tonight, lads. If you ever get an opportunity in your life, if somebody ever says, what part of the deer would you like? Say, I'd like the backstrap, please. It is fucking superhero food. And I'm going to do it so fucking comfort foody tonight. I do this thing where I've had soaking in fucking chili and milk. Chili, cayenne pepper and milk and Frank's hot sauce. Soak it for 2 hours. Slice it up. A little bit of flour. Fry it in butter. I know what you're thinking. You mad fucker. Do you want a coronary? Yes, I fucking do. But if there's a way to go out eating fucking amazing fucking meat. Anyway. There was pointless fucking conversation there, but I'm gonna shamelessly put a picture up, because when it comes to venison, I don't give a fuck. I shot this fucker myself, and butchered it myself, so I shouldn't say fucker. It's irreverent nearly for what a great animal they are and how much they can give us. Moving on to today's guest, Will motherfucking Fleury. He's actually known as Will fucking Fleury. That's just not just me swearing for the sake of fucking swearing, but he Will is a cool character. He's from down home, but he's a pro MMA fighter here up in Dublin through SBG, which is Straight Blast Gym. It's Conor McGregor is where he fights out of. It's John Kavanagh's gym, and Will is one of the most dangerous motherfuckers on the planet, or in Ireland at the moment. He cannot get a fight. The handful of guys he's gotten, he's knocked them this shit out. Everybody's just running scared from him. We talk about this throughout the podcast too, but I met Will... I knew of Will and stuff. I knew he played rugby for the same club as me, even though he was a bit younger back in the day. He was a shit-hot rugby player, strong as a fucking ox. But we opened this. I think we opened with talking about antiques, and the reason why is if you ever drive through the town of Cahir, which is a gorgeous town, it'd be my local town, relatively local town, big ass castle and stuff in the middle of it. You'll see a building that still has the name Fleury Antiques on it, and that's what his family were flantiques, antique dealers. So we opened with that, so in case you wonder what the fuck is going on here, I thought this guy was an MMA fighter, but that's what we opened with, because it's good, because it was Will's first time doing a podcast, even though he's listened to loads of them, and he's a really good talker anyway, he's done loads of interviews and stuff, but it's good to just chit chat about shite first, so you can get somebody kind of in the mood for it, you know, that kind of way, kind of get people warmed up and stuff. Technically we could have had a fucking 3-hour podcast here, but he had to get training, I had to get the fuck back on the road. He's a cool son of a bitch, and I tell you one thing, keep an eye on this name, Will fucking Fleury, because if he can get a run of fights together where people don't pull out, he's going to be fucking awesome, he's going to be massive. So please enjoy the fantastic Will fucking Fleury. Hey, thanks very much, Will Fleury.
On the water.
So, fighting, not antiquing.
Yeah.
Was there ever a temptation? Would you still throw an eye over an antique?
No, I wouldn't have a clue. No, pretty early on they asked me would I be into it, and I was like, nah, not a hope.
I want to knock this shit out of people instead.
Far too many pretentious cunts in that, so I'll go and get the shit knocked out of me and knock the shit out of some lads rather.
It's a bizarre world, isn't it, antiquing? Herself has a fascination with it, so every so often I get dragged into antique shops. Right. The value people put on some stuff.
Yeah, it's mental. It's absolutely mental. And even, I don't know, like, the people you meet through it are just soft,
like, we went into one and it was in Cork, and your man, he looked like something out of a, like, you'd think, no way do you actually exist, like. Do you know him wearing the Paddington Bear trousers? Yeah. Do you know, a bright red waistcoat, like, and he's got a monocle.
And there's a load of lads like that, you know. I wouldn't consider my parents anyway normal people, but in the antique world,
they were never like that though.
They were never that out. No. Like, yeah, well, Charlie used to wear a top hat for a while, but
really,
yeah.
That should be your ring entrance, actually.
But that shit's just acceptable and grand, and it's just like that's the nature of the business.
They're nearly like the theatre world in a sense, kinda, aren't they? Like
a little bit. They're every fucking wannabe bohemian in the world's an antique dealer, like.
Right, yeah. Everybody who ever watched Lovejoy back in the day, And when did fighting start for you? Because I remember, Jesus Christ, it must be 6 or 7 years ago when I first properly met you. It was with Ben Buckley. We were doing a gig, and you were getting serious into it then, like. But even MMA hadn't exploded in Ireland.
So 2010 was when I started training. Now I'd done a little bit of boxing before that, but the MMA clinic in Cork opened up, I think.
Was it out in Blackpool? No.
No, that was K2C.
Yes.
I was the other one. We were out in Frankfield Industrial Estate.
Oh yeah.
It was a really nice gym, and basically they got in a cage. I was down there once before, getting physio or something, and then he was telling me they were going to get a cage, and eventually they did. And I went down there again, and I was getting free physio off your man.
Right.
And then eventually he asked me would I be up for doing a bit, and I was like, yeah. I'm right. I was playing rugby all the time. Like, I was kind of planning on. I'd gone to New York that summer and I'd broken my foot, and that's what I was getting physio on. And he was telling me boxing footwork would be the best thing for the rehab and all this.
Right.
And it was working. Like, I crushed the arch. It was a nasty enough one.
Was that on a job, or were you actually playing rugby over there?
I was playing rugby over it. Like, I was working labouring, but I didn't break it working. I broke it playing rugby. This lad went to tackle me and just fell onto the foot, like his knee hit the foot.
Ground as hard as a fucking rock too, I suppose.
Yeah, well, it was AstroTurf, like.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I played a bit in Boston, and it was just, I decided, no, I'm taking the summer off for a reason like this. Just kept on burning the fucking legs off me. Then
your hamstrings being bits.
Forget about it, like.
Anyway, fucking broke the foot, came back, was getting that, like, kind of. I was with a different guy for most of my rehab, but you sure kept kind of telling me like boxing footwork, that's your thing. And then eventually started doing a little bit of MMA as such. We got a coach over, Justin Robbins from the States.
Right.
And he was kind of a very good wrestling guy. And it was a good crew of us, you know, there was a load of good young athletes in there. And yeah, it took off and I just got obsessed with it then. And I was still kind of always in the mindset that I'll end up going back to rugby at some stage.
Yeah.
But about 3 or 4 months in, I was like, nah, fuck that.
Fuck that. I can't light up some fella's face. Like
yeah. And just, the competitive nature of it and just, you know,
cause
the actual scrap and the fact that you rely totally on yourself.
That's what I was going to say, like, because that was the one thing, because I did it a little, like, I'd done martial arts from the age of, up through, like, from karate and taekwondo, and then mixed martial arts, we're talking 2000, 2001, we didn't know what the fuck we were at. It was really quite literally, like, judo versus there was no sport of it, you know what I mean, an actual amalgamated sport, so we didn't know what we were doing. But it was a bit weird for me coming from team sports. I was like, how the fuck do you handle it? But then I suppose there is a team with you in the build up to a fight, I suppose.
I kind of enjoyed the solitude, like, as in I loved relying on myself and owning myself.
You're responsible for your own shit.
You know, you can't blame anybody else, but you're also not relying on someone. Like, some motherfucker can't miss a tackle and you lose a game over it. You know, you're totally in control of the result,
true, actually,
which I loved. Like, so there were, like, I kind of embraced that pretty early on, where I was like, I only have to rely on myself here, and I can control me, and I can prepare me as best as possible. But obviously, skills-wise, I was shite back then. You know, like, I think I had a very good mentality when I started, and I was very, like, strong.
Well, physically, though, you must come from a rugby background, like you would have been.
I was very strong,
but
I was a terrible athlete. Like, I think playing rugby made me a worse athlete because I was unbelievably good at running into shit. And being a huge battering ram. But my mobility, my flexibility were awful. Like, and even the way my spine was, you know, I couldn't channel massive amounts of force. So it was just like a big locked up, overly built kind of
like a bag of hammers. Like,
basically, so movement wise, I would have been pretty terrible. But strength was good, and you know, I was just tough, I suppose, from having played a bit of rugby. But I had to go away then, like. We'd be doing techniques and I'd like look at myself move, you know, or see other guys moving and try and move in a similar way, and I'd be like, oh no, my body doesn't move like that.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
And then
because you're tall even as fighters go too, like.
But I was very immobile. Like, I couldn't touch my toes when I started MMA, like, you know. And even like I would have had decent enough flexibility in certain ways.
So there's only a certain amount required. Probably second row, or we've
back row and
back row, And so it's 10 meters bursts really is what a back row is.
And be 100 kilos and be explosive, like, you know, even if you're standing up very upright, as long as you're huge and explosive, it's going to be effective. Like,
and what, you must, 6'3"?
Yeah, 6'3".
So you're always going to get over the gain line. You're probably 6'3" since you were maybe 16 or whatever, like, so you're going to get over the gain line, so
And that, like, you think you're a good athlete because of it too, so you're huge.
You're a good athlete for what that was, you know what I mean? Like,
so you fit the requirements.
You drop an MMA fella into a rugby, who's only ever done martial arts into a rugby pitch, and he's going to get broke up, you know.
Time. And it's so much, like, look, you know, I've done this for 7-8 years now. Rugby's a hell of a lot more physical, like, you know.
Yeah, everybody I talked to, no matter, I think it was Steve Collins Jr., he said just boxing was just a treat. Just a treat in comparison, like. This is, at least one fella's only hit. You know what I mean?
And there's no bodies flying from angles you can't see, and rugby's awful. You know? But you're like, I suppose you have a different kind of adrenaline buzz going on during it. So when you're on rugby, all you have to do is put your head down and run into shit. And that's a very easy thing mentally to do.
Yes, So you can prep yourself mentally, fairly handy for that.
Yeah, whereas I suppose the mental preparation for a fight's slightly different, and it takes a little bit more kind of knowing, kind of like you have to have MMA is much more mental, I think, than physical. And it's something that you wouldn't be used to from a rugby background. That you're used to being tough. You're used to enduring. But you're not used to, like,
having to think of every facet down to your toes, man. You have to think of everything, don't
how
you?
They move and like it does, like, it will all come into it at some point in time. Like,
I could see why it would be obsessive, all right, because you have so many things to think about. Like with rugby and the likes of it, you can just go, well, I'll put that thought in my back pocket there, and that'll do for Sunday or Saturday, whenever I'm playing. Like, mixed martial arts, you can't let your guard down on anything. Like, you need strong fucking eyelids for that carry on. Like, you know.
But then the funny thing is, you think about everything so much, and then all you're trying to do is get to the point where you don't have to think at all.
Yes.
You know?
Second nature. Yeah, the irony of it. Yeah.
Where it is just, that's your pattern, that's what you do, that's what your brain reverts back to. Like, and I suppose you think enough to drill enough to get to that point where it's just, boom, that's it. It's, you know, you're in that, like,
flow state, as they say. Yeah.
Everything takes care of itself, like, and you're just observing it, like.
And would you be good? Are you good nutrition wise? Like,
yeah, like.
You have to be now. You're a pro now, so you know fucking
basically. Like, look, you know, I've just come back from Africa there a few weeks ago. I spent a week eating shit, been on the piss, and you know, enjoying myself. Like, but in general, when like I don't have discipline problems, and I wouldn't eat crap when it's coming up to something.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm in a phase where it's going to be competitive soon, I'll eat what I think I'm supposed to eat. But then, what are you supposed to eat? There's so like.
Yeah.
I've varied my diets massively over the years. Like, I used to be keto kind of guy, and
now, because it's the ketogenics diet.
Yeah,
like, you just go hungry for the fucking day, basically. Is it?
Kind of like, as in a lot of fat in the morning, not eat much throughout the day, maybe snack on bits and pieces of meat and olives and things like that, and then massive meal at night. And I did that for the best part of the year, and actually got some good results. Like, depends.
Yeah.
You know, what I found was I was less explosive and all that sort of stuff, but. No, I've tried loads of different diets, and I've tried, you know, I'd be very strict with them as well, and very kind of like, I wonder what the result of this will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, now I'm kind of back to just eating, you know, about 50% carbs, 30% protein, 20% fat, and I will measure that like on a daily basis if I have competition coming up. But I still like eating a bit of shit.
Of course. Jeez, would you end up becoming a mental freak if you didn't?
I think so, yeah.
Your body and brain needs that shit. Like, you're just gonna.
And I think, like, it's important to let your kind of body come out of that competition phase every now and then, because I think your nervous system feels it more than anything.
Yeah. Well, it's like an engine. You're gonna blow it, like, eventually. Like, so. I had to laugh, like, I was thinking on the way in, because Natasha was going, willfleury, because I'd shown her. She goes, is that Will fucking Fleury?
Unbelievable.
Because that's what I call you. It's like Will fucking Fleury, because you're one of the few people guests where normally I have to wind back into courses a small bit.
Yeah.
I don't know, is it a Tipperary thing or what?
I'm trying my best now.
but oh no, don't. This is where I swear. Like, Mike Sheridan coursed a good bit now, in fairness. Like, but they're starting to leave my courses in interviews now. Like, as long as it becomes synonymous, and I went, great, get to talk to Will, I can just curse him.
Yeah, a lot of people have told me to change that name, and I'm like, fuck it, I love it. I love that name, like, and I've had it since before fighting, so I was like, I'm Will fucking Fleury. That's it, you know.
Well, that's it. Like, PJ Gallagher named his show this year that he was his tour Dickhead.
Yeah.
And a load of places wouldn't put it on the poster, but it became almost its own mystery, because of it. Like, it's like we all pretend we don't curse. Yeah, we all do curse.
Well, like, what are you going in to watch? Two lads beat the absolute piss out of each other. Somebody might end up with a fucking brain tumor. You don't know what's going to happen, like, and it's a much more violent thing than a curse. Like,
well, I have this new bit where I'm talking about this, like, as cursing, where I'm not apologetic for it, but I actually, when anybody who gets offended by words has clearly never had their fucking jaw broken. Like, you know what I mean?
And, like, look, there are some fucking shit things you can say that don't involve cursing. So,
absolutely, yeah.
You know, if it's not offensive and it's designed, like, I think it's fucking great.
I think it's hilarious, more than anything. I think it's just funny.
Like, no matter what, like, as in, if I may change it when I get kind of up into higher promotions or whatever, it's still going to be Will fucking Fleury underneath, like, you know.
Yeah. So. Well, of course, there was F and Eddie for years too, like.
Yeah, and that took off huge. I mean, bigger than F and Eddie.
Every Tipperary fella's dream to be bigger than F and Eddie. How was Africa? How many weeks were you over in? Was it South Africa you were in?
Yeah. In Santon in Joburg.
Right.
Out in the house there for about 6 weeks. So I'm not allowed, like, the show hasn't been aired yet.
Yes, of course, yeah.
I'm not allowed to really talk about much of that. But
when is it going to be aired? Because all I could ever get was trailers, like.
Yeah, we're in kind of talks with a network. I say we, like, I have some fucking control over it. Like.
This is where your top hat comes on again.
But no, basically they're trying to sell it to a network over here. and it looks like it's all going to be bought up and sold, but I have no idea when it'll be on the air.
All right.
Hopefully soon enough.
But it looked slick, like it actually looked really professionally
they
shot.
spent a hell of a lot of money on it, like surprising amount of money.
Who was that? Was it South African?
So the Extreme Fighting Championship, they're
Right.
called. They're based in. They used to be called EFC Africa. Now they call themselves EFC Worldwide. Now they haven't done a fucking show outside of Africa yet, but we'll see if I can get them back to Europe.
How many white fellas was on it, or were you?
There was myself, mainly like as in, right, so it's kind of like the United Nations.
Okay, fair enough, you weren't just
no,
Mr. Art, alright.
No. So there was myself, an English lad, 2 French boys, but they were Algerian and Gambian.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be called French.
Okay.
A German lad, an Australian, 2 South Africans, an American, and a Brazilian.
Okay.
So they got a fair mix of lads in there. And a Cameroonian fella as well. So there was I think there was 1 black South African lad, black French lad, and black Cameroonian fella. And yeah, that was it.
And were you who else was heavyweight? Because you're heavyweight, aren't you?
Middleweight.
Are you middleweight?
Yeah.
Well, had you been heavyweight, or am I totally wrong?
No, it's always middleweight. Yeah.
You're a tall middleweight.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like you see other, like 2 of the lads in the show were like 6'5". Yeah. But look, it's, you can only be 84 kilos, like, so it's how you spread that out.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I suppose they're all the same height on their back, like as I say, like
And it's all what you can condense into that 84 and how well connected you are and how well you put it together. You see tall folks there and no coordination. It's like, here, that's not an issue at all.
Yeah.
So.
And the fight, did you see any? I was at Bama 187 the other night.
Yeah.
And Jesus, that was. Did you miss all that?
I know, I was up in the crowd with, I was cornering that night.
Yeah.
For Richard. Yeah. But I just went down to watch the first few fights because he was on last year. And
it was bananas.
Yeah, I was sitting beside Tommy Martin and we were both like, is this actually happening? Like, this is ridiculous.
Like, it was only just short of Ric Flair's music coming on too. Like,
it was mental. No comment, basically. Like, it was fucking...
What can you say?
No, yeah.
Everybody was kind of like, what?
Yeah. There you go, sure. It's at a whole other level now.
We guaranteed Bellator were fairly happy about it anyway.
Yeah, big time, man.
500,000 views before the show even ended.
Fucking... And, John Redmond's complaining, but he should be fucking delighted. Like, now everybody knows who John Redmond is. He's on TMZ there yesterday morning. And so, yeah, look. It's mental, the whole thing. It's crazy, but there. Could be worse.
But I felt so bad for Richard too, because it looked the business, didn't it? But he torn his ACL, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
for fucks no fighting. To be honest,
mad bastard.
Yeah,
mad bastard. Because he said it to me off air the last time because the ACL is gone. Like, I said, you're not going to fight him. Yeah. I'm going to put 2 bandages in so he doesn't know which one it is. Like, oh my god, you lunatic! Like,
yeah, like.
But then you are backed into a corner too. The pressure's on too, like to a certain degree, I suppose.
He did it, like, afterwards I thought, you fucking, no reason to feel disappointed here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You went into a fight, having had an ACL injury only 3 or 4 weeks beforehand. You performed very fucking well for the first.
You got him over, like he was getting over on him, like, wasn't he? Yeah.
No, he did extremely well. I think Lahore would have been the more nervous fighter going into the second round, like.
Yeah.
And look, he's done amazingly well. Like, he's like, we were upstairs afterwards, and I was like, "You're 11 months into this game. It was just main event at a fucking card in Fleury Arena with 4,000 or 5,000 fans out there. Like,
colossal.
That's pretty fucking amazing. Like,
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
So fair play to him. Like, he's done it.
It balances out my 60 people in care that asked me to do my show. Like, you know what I mean?
But like, I'd say the biggest crowd I fought the SSE, but there was probably only about 2,000 or 3,000 there. Like, and I've been 7-8 years in this game. Like, and fair fucks to him.
Would you have a lot of fuckers pulling out on you though?
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Jesus Christ, man!
Yeah.
Like, did they just shit the bed? Because at this stage it can't be all. Like,
No.
1 or 2 you go fair enough, but you've had like 6 or 7 fellas pull out on you. Like.
Yeah, it seemed to be intimidating.
But like, you would hope that people get into martial arts to really test themselves. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Obviously not, and especially fight sport. As in, I think guys get into jiu-jitsu to test themselves. And I think people do start MMA to test themselves, but eventually when they want to make it a career and a thing, it's all about your brand, your image, your fucking thing, and nobody wants to just fight anymore.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. You want, like, if you eventually want to make a living out of it, you have to sell yourself as a product.
Yes, yeah.
But most of the lads I'm trying to fight aren't at that point. I'm not at that fucking point where I can fully make a sustainable living out of this thing. So, like, I want to just get in and fight loads.
Yeah.
Nobody else seems to want to, like.
That's what
You seem to be the rare bastard, like. So.
It's a weird position to be in, like.
And I think even just that, being up for it, people find very fucking disconcerting in some way, shape or form. Like, I don't know, like, even my last few lads I've tried to kind of gently coax into it all, but even when I was over in Africa, man, I thought, like...
What is it? Are they looking at
I don't
showreels
know.
of you just going, I'm not getting ragdoll by that cunt, like.
Yeah, I don't, like, you'd have to ask them. But for a while I was kind of like, no, like, people go, no, you just, you know, fucking, they're scared of you, like, yeah, they must be.
But they must, that's like, I mean, like I said, there's luck in a bad luck in a few fellas pulling out, like, but when you've so many, like, to the point,
what?
Was your, one of the most recent fights was he a kickboxer or something? They just took the fight just to fill the bill anyway. Do you remember that one?
The Johnny J, like, I fought John Redmond in my last fight in Ireland.
Yeah.
That was a boxing fight.
Bananas, like,
yeah, it was
just because.
Fair play to him. He took it on 2 days' notice, and, like, obviously,
so did you, like, yeah.
But yeah, we like the Swedish lad that was supposed to fight from All Stars. He was like 12-1 as an amateur or something. Really good record coming into it. Looked legit. Like, trained with Gustafsson. Thought he was going to be very good. Like, I was really psyched for that fight. I thought it was going to be a great one. Headlining Neptune as well. But he just didn't show it. Like, 2 days beforehand, he got something with his scan. They flagged something that wasn't even like a serious issue. Something got flagged, and then he got nervous and he didn't get on his flight. But it's always this bullshit. Like, it's like, look, at the end of the day, man, if you'd wanted this, you could have just showed up and we would have found a way to do something.
Absolutely. Anything, you know? Anything, like,
We could have had a K1 fight, or we could have done something else.
Yeah.
But I think that lad just shot the bed, and
Just like that.
And the heartbreaking thing is, most of the time, like, that's happened to me loads. This time, or that time, John Redmond showed up, fair play to him. But most of the time, it's just nothing. You know,
it's such a
nothing
climax,
happens. Like. You've been training for 6 or 8 weeks. You're fucking
God.
unbelievably mentally prepared for this, and then, nothing happening. Go home. You know, no money, no fucking profile building, nothing. You just go home, and you sit in your fucking couch and go,
fuck you.
Yeah.
You want to call to your man's house? Get out here.
It's very frustrating, like, and you know, like, the thing about it. I nearly got into a pattern of just bitching about it and moaning about it for a while, and it doesn't get you anywhere either. So, the way I look at it these days is all those camps will stand to me.
They will, of course, yeah.
And I think, like, the average, and, you know, in a way I hate saying this because it'll fucking scare off more lads, but I am far more experienced than the average 2-0 guy or the average fighter on my level. But give me the fucking chance to get out there and prove that, please, like. Because so far nobody has, like, you know, as in, I've tried to fight up a few times, like, I was trying to get guys who were 5 and 6-0 in England, and I was with this guy Raj Singh, he's All-Star Fight Championship, and I was asking for these guys, and he was like, no, he won't fight you, mate.
What?
And I was like, but from their point of view, they don't want to lose that record to a 2-0 guy, so it's very frustrating. You know, everyone's trying to protect their own interests, but you can't get anywhere with it. You've got to look like you're shit or very beatable, like, you know. So it's frustrating as fuck.
That is bizarre. Like, that's something that people outside of the fight game would have no concept of. Like, the fella's just not showing. Like, because you think.
But I think people here are starting to get more and more into it, and it's great because.
But they are. Look at the Fleury arena the other night. Like, you know what I mean.
It's not just casual fans who are going, oh, he's fucking amazing, or he's fucking. You do get lads who kind of know the crack of the game, like, and who do understand that, look, there are fellas out there who are padding their records, or there are fellas out there who are kind of trying their best just to be a product rather than an actual fighter. But that's kind of part of the market too, and there's a market for that, but I hope there's a market for the actual sport and the actual fights. And I think there is, and there probably will be a bigger market in a couple of years again. Like,
one has to go hand in hand with the other, I suppose.
Yeah, because we're starting to kind of see the WWE side of the sport now And I do think there will be a bit of a kickback against that, and that you'll just have lads who want just fucking fighters, like.
Yeah.
And I've look, I totally understand starting a fight, as in I think a bit of shit talk makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
There has to be something on the line.
Yes.
There has to be egos coming and gliding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And fuck it, I'm like, at the end of the day, man, I'm coming in and risking everything that I am in every fucking fight, like, you know, and I don't take that lightly. I go into it fully understanding I'll be crushed if I lose this.
Yeah.
As in emotionally, like, I go home and want to fucking top myself for a couple of weeks, like. But that's what I really, and that, I love doing that. Like, that's, you know, what gets me fucking up in the morning.
Yeah, of course.
That buzz, that risk.
But it's
that,
like race car
feeling,
driving, like, you know what I mean? You're going
yeah,
full bore.
Yeah, that feeling of being alive by doing it, like. But yeah, I don't have a problem talking shit, but I do think, like, at the end of the day, show up and fight the toughest cunt out there.
Yeah.
And always want to do that. And if you don't, you've got to go away and look at yourself, like, I think, anyway. But there's lads who make a fine living without doing that, so maybe I'm the one with the fucking issue. Like.
Yeah, I suppose the only other, like, what do you do about it? Do you make yourself so promotionally great that people can't fucking turn you down? They look good if they even step in the cage with you, like, you know what I mean?
And that's probably something I have to.
That's probably where it has to go, realistically. Maybe start dyeing your fucking hair. Your beard is badass. Like,
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think I've got the package.
Maybe get a big tattoo of fucking something on your chest. I don't know.
Hot tip across the forehead. Okay.
You did what was the chat you did? I only saw the pictures of it. I knew that Brenda Maher was doing it. What was it?
1-0
1-0. What was that?
So they had it last year as well. It's basically a massive sports conference where they get in a lot of speakers and get them to talk on different issues. And like our one was modern athlete, so it was more about like how were you going to, you know, you're at that point where you're probably coming on to something, you know, and how are you going to engineer making a living out of it? How are you going to, you know, like a lot of it was about, you know, how have you found getting to this point? You know, you kind of backed yourself, you went out and you did this thing. It was like athletes who were breaking through, basically.
Yes, yeah.
So a lot of the questions were all about that. It was really interesting. Like even the questions I was asked, I was kind of like, wow, this is
cool.
Very good. Like it was fucking properly interesting. But you know, I was kind of like a little side note down there. The main lad, they had like AP McCoy and Brian O'Driscoll and fucking Owen Roddy was down there as well. And they ask really in-depth stuff. And I think it's mainly for corporate lads coming in and, you know, that they want to kind of sell it as something where you can, you know, tailor some of the fucking, I suppose, attitudes in sport into attitudes in business.
I suppose, yeah.
That sort of thing.
But there's a lot of lads.
And even just to get really good insight in sport and the business of sport, because at the end of the day, it is a fucking business.
Oh, it is a business. Know? It's entertainment. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And but I suppose they would have needed that anyway. I mean, there's no point in having Brian O'Driscoll, because how can you attain that? You know what I mean? When you look directly at a guy who's done what he's done, you need to have you in there going, well, I'm on the upward curve here. Like, you know what I mean? So,
I suppose, like for an older fucking lad, I'm gonna get into it. It's probably beneficial from their point of view to listen to a fella like me. Like, you know, at the end of the day, I'm 28. I'm not making a living out of the sport yet, but I will at some point.
Yeah, of course.
You know, in it's all going that way. But yeah, like, Jesus, it's very interesting. There's a lot of really, really interesting lads down there, Alan.
And what's next on the cards? Do you know? I mean,
fight wise, or
fight wise.
So I did like. I kind of can't.
Oh, you're allowed to. Okay, right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. Are your hands tied a bit because of the TV show about to come out too? Right. So you can't go flat on the body stuff.
So if I go down, and even like there's the finale for the show on December 16th.
That hasn't happened yet, or has it happened?
December 16th.
Oh, right.
So I might be in that.
Okay, right. Oh, Jesus Christ, right.
So the two finalists go into that. And yeah,
that'll be class if it's. I mean, like, even getting yourself a household name here would be, or even close to a household name. Because who the fuck is there really? I mean, there's plenty of fighters and all the rest of it. Like, but like Richard is like, he can talk the shit. Like, there's no doubt, like, the guy can talk the shit. But it helps too. Like, I mean, there's definitely like, who else from outside of Dublin really is
there are a couple of big names.
Like.
Well, right. So you have Norman Park up north, and you have a lot of guys down here, and you have a lot of different lads. So like James Gallagher here as well is a huge name.
Okay, yeah.
And like, I think a lot of his market would be, you know, younger people and like, you know, lads who are getting into sport, and you know, that's what he's catering to. There's loads of big enough names in Ireland, and I think it's like, even like look at Dylan Tuke there on Friday evening, like, you know, unbelievable performance.
What age
like,
is he? He looks about 12.
I think he's 21.
Because I came down the lift with him, like, and I was like, hey, good job. He was like, cheers, man. I did not realise he was missing all of his front teeth. He was kind of half spitting on me and everything. He was just, I was looking and going, man, you look like you just made your confirmation. Like, it's really childish look.
Kid's legit as fuck.
He is legit as fuck. Jesus Christ.
Did, like,
he looks very... He looks like a natural to it, doesn't he? Like, you know.
He's got a great kind of, when he's in there, he picks apart guys really well. Like,
yeah.
He's very, very good.
Which gym do you fight or train in then typically?
Concord
down in East Road.
Yeah. But like, I do travel around a good bit, like I'd be out in SPG Swords the odd time.
It's some operation now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's huge. It's all these satellite gyms. Like there's Port Arlington, fucking
Belfast
Swords,
as well,
there. What's the other one? Tullamore, Tala, obviously, SPG 24, fucking load of places. Belfast, I haven't been in the Belfast one at all, like, but I've been to all the rest of them, and I train in the rest of them the odd time as well, like, you know. And it's just this huge fucking community of lads, like, and it's all stemmed from John, like, basically.
But it's a good nature to it, though. Is like, because that time I chatted with Richard, we came down. He says, we took photographs we did the willfleury.
I saw the photos. I was over in Africa looking at that shit, being like, "Nah, you're terrible."
I said, we have to do this. And it was Will's trademark again.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, what I noticed was the good nature of everybody in there. Now, it's not like I was expecting everybody to be an ignorant bollocks, but you know the way typically people just kind of keep their head down and and just, but people were all kind of shaking hands with it. You know, there seemed to be a real
very
kind of
friendly,
but great manners. Like all the kids that were trained there, you imagine, hey, sit back to the cage, and all of them just lined around the cage like little good-mannered children. It was.
I think it's an awful pity, the perception of MMA, because the reality is totally different.
Oh my god. The kids have never, and I played in a few different sports as a child, and I know we were all wild bastards, like so. But these kids were all really well behaved and good-natured kids. Like, they're taught respect from the day one by the sounds of things.
I think it's inherent to the sport, because you need to shut up to learn things. And if you want to be good, you have to learn stuff, okay?
That makes sense.
You have to kind of respect the person who's above you and like have a level of kind of just understanding and comprehension of the fact that I have to learn from you and I have to respect you to learn from you. So there's an inherent kind of respect built into any martial art, I think, as well. You know.
Because I remember it was 25 push-ups if you're lippy. Like.
But I do think like the problem where other martial arts kind of fall down a little bit is it nearly gets kind of quasi-religious, or there's that culty vibe to it. In general, MMA is a lot better like that, where it is more just like get in, learn what's effective. You have this guy who's going to be showing you stuff. You respect him. You go out, and plus, you meet people. Like, everyone's an individual in there. At the end of the day, you're not on a team. But you have to work with these people to get where you want to be. So it makes more sense to be nice to these people. You know what I mean?
Valid point.
Like, they're going to help you to get where you want to be. So even just from a selfish point of view, you want to be as nice as possible to them and get as much help as you can from them.
Right, So
like,
that's your mechanism.
Nice. If I want to drill with you, you know, and I want to do this thing at the end of a class for 20 minutes. If you think I'm a total cunt, you're probably not going to do it with me. Like, you know what I mean? So I kind of have to be on good terms with everybody, and like, but it's just, it's a very nice buzz about it. Like, as in, that was one of the first things that really got me. Like, when I was saying there, I was thinking, I'll go back to rugby eventually. The main thing was, Jesus, everyone in here is fucking very sound, very decent, very like. You meet really good people through MMA in general.
Ironically, because the killers, like half of them, like, you know what I mean, like they.
And there are some fighters out there that are questionable characters, don't get me wrong.
Well, that's life, anyway.
But the very large majority are very decent people, very interesting people. Like, you meet a lot of, like, very independent characters through it, like, and people who, like, kind of, I suppose you get the confident types who back themselves. Like, you know what I mean? The people who are like, I don't know, I'm willing to go in and try this thing, like, you know. And generally speaking, yeah, you get a very nice and very interesting person.
But it is balls out, like, isn't it? It's there is very little other few things in life nowadays where you can go balls out. Let's get down to our shorts and let's rip each other's fucking heads off. Like, you know
that's
what I mean?
if you want to be a fighter, and I think like the vast majority of normal people don't want to be fighters. You know, thankfully, because fuck it, it'd be a mental world. Society just wouldn't work.
Yeah, I think it would actually. If you, this is another thing I've been doing on stage. I genuinely think if you could not have that pent up shit and you could actually get it out. Okay, maybe it doesn't have to go to a physical confrontation, but if you could get it out on the spot and get rid of that moment rather than actually festering, you know, fucking son of a bitch, and go back to your car chewing the steering wheel off, you know, that kind of
2
way.
years ago I would have totally agreed with you, right? But I think there's a reason we pen shit up to a degree.
I suppose, yeah.
Like, I've gotten better at that reflex of like, nah, fuck it, don't stop yourself, just do it.
Yeah.
You know? But if the rest of society acted like me all the time, it wouldn't quite work. Like, you know,
savages.
Like, look at Connor, he's the extreme example of what happens when you stop that reflex of going, nah, maybe I won't do that.
He has no handbrake.
Imagine if everybody was like Connor.
No handbrake whatsoever. Like, he just has no.
Yeah. So, fuck it, yeah, I do think people need to let go of themselves a little bit more and just be like, I think people need to put themselves in situations where you're more exposed.
Yeah.
And be willing to be exposed.
Absolutely.
You know, and be willing to find out if you're full of shit. Because at the end of like, look, I can go away and talk a lot of shit and say I'm going to hammer the crap out of some cunt.
Yeah.
I don't know that for a fact. Right?
Of course, yeah.
But I have to go in there and expose that at some point. You know, I
Yeah.
have to back that up and I have to be accountable for what I've said
Yeah.
to a degree. And that's why I admire any fighter who talks a little bit of shit too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, as long as you're getting in there and fighting, you have to be accountable for that.
Yeah.
So fair play to you for going
Well, there's
out
no
and doing
hiding
it.
once you get in there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So I do think like people need to be accountable for what they've said
Yes.
and what they're going to do, you know, to a degree a little bit
But
more.
then it probably, I suppose, if that was the case, if people felt there was going to be accountability or consequences, it probably wouldn't be as much much of a dickhead.
Yeah,
like, you
there
know.
you go. And that's a lot of like people are in positions where it doesn't matter what you say, you can just behave and say what you want.
Yeah.
In martial arts, it's not like that.
No,
and that's another reason why people are so nice, you know. They're aware that they're accountable for their actions.
That's
like,
a valid
you know.
point, yeah. But everybody that day, it was something that just struck me. It was like, Jesus, wow, you're all lovely.
Yeah.
Do you know
And that's very common, man. Go anywhere, like, as in, I always go out, like, Swords that kind of be the place where I go to besides Concord the most. And everybody out there, like, every time I come in, I'm just like, this is great.
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
and you're nearly, like, too full of warmness. And,
there was
you know,
a warmth to it.
Whatever,
It was like,
to train, you're kind of like,
Like,
I don't want to beat the shit out of you
I was
anymore.
going to say, lads, you should really open a coffee shop in here because the vibes in here are good. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
And that's most shit, like,
there was a
pretty
lad
much
outside
every
mixing a
gym.
bit of concrete who was a fighter as well, but he'd gotten a job to mix up a bit of concrete to make a footpath. And he was outside, and he had a nice big juicy ear on him from the weekend, like, or whatever. And your man, but he put down the shovel to shake hands with me and stuff. He said, no, you didn't have to. But he was just being so polite.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, fair enough. Because I suppose you don't know when, like almost the theatre world, you don't know when the next run of the ladder is coming either, like, or who the fuck is who, like. So you may as well, as you said, be nice.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm kind of
not a
cynical
fake
about
nice.
it.
No,
It's not. Like,
no.
it's a very genuine thing. I've just always kind of wondered, why are people so nice here in comparison to everywhere else? And those were my reasons. But like, I suppose there's a community within it, and a lot of the time, people who are involved in MMA, they were probably people who were like a little bit fucking different to begin with, or a little bit like
Touch of an outcast, a small bit, like.
maybe to a degree, but like, you know, I came from a rugby background and I would have been more involved in like mainstream type shit.
Yeah.
But I suppose there's less of, you know, my type of character in it, and there's more of the kind of like.
That's what Richard was saying. He says he'd never met anybody like you.
Yeah.
He says he just had an immediate attraction to you because he was like, there's something about Will. He says, I don't know what, he's a mad bastard, but he's very sound. Like he couldn't bring it into words, but he was just going, he's a different sort of a fella. He says where. He says he's just not somebody I'm used to meeting the style of. Well, that's a care lad.
I know what he means to a degree, yeah. Like, you don't get lads who are as deep down mental as I am and can seem as normal most of the time.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, most of the fellas who are very like presentable and like can, you know, play rugby and talk with a shit, they're not tapped underneath it all.
Yeah.
And they don't have that like
Trevor Brennan vibe.
Yeah, you know, that like insanity to like keep doing this thing,
Yeah.
even in the face of like ridiculous
But
bullshit.
I totally get it though. I do get it, but I know I wouldn't have the capability. I was all
You only
right.
find out when you do
This
shit.
is it.
Do you know,
I
as
was
in
all
everyone
right.
talks what
I
they
was
can
all
do
right.
and can't do. And like here's me sitting there talking, I can do all this, I can do all that. Fucking get in there, do it. I've been denied the chance to a lot, but like at the end of the day, man, all I want's the opportunity to see if I can or I can't.
That was a
like,
juice knockout, that one where
the McClurkin,
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
And of course, people were creating memes and everything, like a Will Fleury scream.
That
But you
was
could
very
tell
good.
that it wasn't just that fight. You were delighted to get a
man.
fight
Oh.
and get it done nicely. Like the mouthpiece went flying. It was.
It's funny, right? Because like I've fucking screamed at pretty much the end of every fight, like you know, just because it is such a like. I've had so many contests that haven't happened, and they do, and then when you get that satisfaction, of,
it's
like,
the lotto for a split second, isn't it?
Yeah, like that 20 minutes afterwards is just amazing. Like the adrenaline, the everything. Like even like that boxing fight, it was nowhere near as good a high.
Oh
as
yeah.
But still, you've knocked some lad out, and there was all this kind of like, you know, all the training, all that effort, all that like, because look, you're killing yourself doing this stuff. Like at the end of the day, there's a fucking harsh reality to it all. Like. You know, it's not tennis, like, you know, you can't just go home and it's going to be normal and
it's
everything's
not like
you
know, you won on points, which is like, okay, so we'll evaluate the end of this and see how it goes. It's all that effort has been focused on one pinpoint.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
And you smashed.
And you smashed, you know what I mean? Like.
So it's very satisfying when you do get that result, like, but, look, at the end of the day, you've knocked some poor bastard out as well.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But... yeah, it's fucking amazing. It's great.
Well, it's the oldest form, really, of
and there is, like, look, it's incredibly primal, no matter how you want to fluff it up with words or whatever. There's a very visceral thing when you just, like, a lot of it is you've overcome yourself, and there is all that beautiful side to it as well. But a lot of it is, I'm the king fucking gorilla now. I've just knocked the shit out of this.
Yeah. Like, we haven't evolved that far, like, you know what I mean? Like, we really haven't.
Yeah.
Like.
And that's how you feel. You feel like on the absolute fucking shit right here. Like,
of course you do, yeah. There's no shame in that.
Yeah, no, and it is. It's a great feeling. Like, it's amazing. And I like, obviously not everyone can fucking do that. Not everyone can buy into that. But at the end of the day, I do think like the more you expose yourself, the more you face those moments of like, can I do this? Can I fucking do this?
Yeah.
And if you fit, like, here's the thing. I've had a lot of moments like that where I fucked up. Like, not in competition, obviously, but it can happen, like, I've no doubt that it can happen. But the reality is, get back on the fucking horse.
Yeah, because that's all
nobody
it is.
remembers, nobody gives a fuck at the
No.
end of the day.
No.
You know what I mean? I'm really disappointed that lad, Colin McClurkin, he was a very, very good fighter. Like, you know, I fucking think he's a ridiculously talented dude, and he seems like a lovely fella too. And I don't think he's going to fight anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it, he's jacking it.
Which is so disappointing, because, like, the level of skill he's gotten to there, it takes about 6 or 7 years to get to. Like, and you can see the effort he's put into it. And you can see, like, he was in damn good shape. He was very strong.
He was. Yeah.
And then to let something like that deter you, you know, I would hope if that like that ever happened to me, I'd be straight back in the wagon. Like, you know, I'd take my time.
See, that's where the other side of it too is, like, the fragility of your mind.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. And like, I think that's where, you know, I don't know what Richie was referring to specifically, but like, given all the shit that's happened, I've had so many reasons to like just go, fuck it, you know.
Yeah.
Why would I do this anymore?
Go at anything now. Like,
yeah, or just like get back, you know, go back, fucking work an office job or do something like that again. And you know, don't get me wrong, it's not like I've considered it, like I haven't considered it, but I do think like a lot of this is just a mental marathon.
Yeah.
Of how long can you fucking stick with this, and how long can you stay there, and how long can you keep backing yourself, and how are you going to stop those logical reasons to stop from getting into your head? Like,
it's the same as stand-up comedy. Like, trying to make money out of stand-up comedy is next to you know what I mean? Like,
but it is just like, you keep doing it, you're going to fucking figure it out.
Well, the cream always rises to the top, as they say. Like, if you can stick with it, like, you know, that kind of way.
But one, like, I think the fucking...
And let's be honest, you haven't exactly racked up a lot of damage in the cage, like, in competition.
No, but
you know,
you're training for all these camps.
You
know, like...
Yeah.
Look, there's a reality to this game at the end of the day, and I don't want to be doing this when I'm in my 40s. Or, you know, I would like to fight a lot and get out, you know, and have my career. And I'd love to stay doing martial arts until I'm 65, 70, but I don't think I'd like to be a competitive fighter past 35. Like, you know,
because it could get a bit small bit on the sad side. Then.
Yeah, and look,
Jesus.
fucking man, you know, we've been brought in and shown what CTE is and shown like the consequences of CTE and all it, and it's real. Like, you know, it's not fucking.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah, and it like there are people we know who I know who are gonna be affected by this, or maybe, you know, you don't know if you're gonna be one of them, so you just protect yourself as best you can. And I don't think it's like you do or you don't. I think it's a scale. I think all of us are going to suffer something, like, or, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, you are. Like, I mean, this is it. I mean, even if you had stayed playing rugby, and even if you stayed only playing, you know, club, and you didn't pursue the professional side of rugby, like, you can be guaranteed there's lads from Cashel and Clanwilliam that are walking around with bandy fucking elbows and bandy hips, even still, like, you know.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind the body, it's more the brain.
Yeah,
I could take a fuck tip, or, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
As long as I can get around and I can still think.
Yeah.
You know. I think the brain is by far the biggest asset you have, like.
Jesus, it is terrifying when you think about it.
Yeah, it is, it's scary as fuck, yeah.
There's no fixing that fucker.
No.
Do you know?
Yeah, no. And, like, when you see people who've been affected by things, like, you know, who are not old people, and they're...
I was up, when I was interviewing up in Celtic Warrior Gym, I was chatting with a guy, like, and he just liked hanging around the gym, like being a pro gym and stuff, and just, you know, training a bit on the side. The lads didn't mind. But this chap, I spoke to one of the and he's been affected, you know, by, it's clearly, he's taken way too many blows. And the lad wasn't old. No. It's like maybe just shy of 50, like, you know, you're going, fuck. That's fucking terrifying.
It is, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Have you had much in the way of injury? You haven't really, have you?
Injury body-wise, yeah, a few. Like, I dislocated my shoulder in 2014.
Was that ever a rugby thing, though?
No, just I was grappling one day and a guy took me down and I posted on my arm.
Okay.
And my shoulder popped out. And it was just the way we fell. He kind of landed on top of me afterwards.
Yeah.
I've had a few grisly enough ones, yeah. Body-wise, but, like, you know what? It heals.
Yeah.
The tissue heals.
Yeah.
Like, it's shit when it happens. You're up in a scrap heap for a while and you get all the rest. But you get through it.
Yeah.
And you will heal. I'd be much more worried about my brain because you're never sure if that's going to fully heal up, like, or, you know, if it is going to be an issue long term, or plus, if my elbow's banjaxed, I can do a lot of other things with my life.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
If my brain is banjaxed,
that's it.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
you can't apply yourself to too much else and get on with it, like, so. Yeah, it's definitely something I would worry about to a degree, but you accept the consequences or you get on with it. Like, either do it or you don't do it, like, and I'm still here and still doing it, like, so.
Yeah. Has it even surprised you, though, the popularity of like, there's no fucking way Bama would have filled the 3 Arena even 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Hardly, like it's...
I don't think no, because...
Did you smell it coming when you got into it? You were like, this shit
definitely,
fucking...
Because, look, it's the ultimate form of competition, and it can't not be interesting.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you get these ridiculous characters involved in this fucking ridiculous
Have you ever
sport.
thought about growing a mullet? I just thought a mullet would look amazing on you. I just...
I've been going far too much for the hick look. Right, you know.
Come on, you got the beard going.
Walk out with the Confederate flag. You know. Go for that anti-PC buzz, like...
Trust me, a Tipperary bag will do fine. It sends out the same message.
Nah, fucking...
Big country will.
Boy, howdy. I knocked that boy out good and proper.
But it is, like, as you said, like the characters tied into it and all the rest of it. Because there's, like, you see it, like, there's, even in the UFC, there's lads getting fights. You're kind of going, why is he? Oh fuck yeah, he's really interesting to watch. Like Cowboy Cerrone has been beaten a handful of times. Not a good full of times, but everybody wants to see him because they know he's a lad cunt.
Yeah, like there's a lot of fighters like that. Diego Sanchez there as well.
Yeah.
I think he's not planning on retiring, which I hope he does. But if he doesn't, people will show up and watch the next fight. Because a lot more so than being like, here's the thing: nobody gives a fuck how legit a fighter you are. Really, you know, there's not a massive appetite for that. There's a huge appetite for character.
Yeah.
And for the guy who you know and the guy who you're like invested in to a degree. And you can't be like, look, I'm the same. I'm big into combat sports. But at the end of the day, like, I love the skill level.
Yeah.
But I won't watch a fight just like it's not what gets me fully excited. I care about the characters.
Yeah.
I care about what's on the line. It is wrestling. It is that same storyline.
But it's the thing, only about 5% of people really know what's genuinely going on in those exchanges in the cage. Like.
And even at that, you get guys who are experts who break this shit down and you're like, well, I saw it totally differently. So which one is right? The only way of telling whether something is right or not is whether or not it's effective. And certain things are going to be effective at certain times and certain things are going to be effective.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's like, in fairness, John's very open-minded like this and he's always like, I never say never. You know, there's never something that's wrong as such. But it's more like, is it effective at that point in time?
Exactly. That makes sense.
And that's the reality of it, like, because like I've been told by so many different coaches, like, you never do this, you never do that, you never do that, like, don't do that. But it is like, look, it's probably
an evolving sport.
It's best practice not to do that in this situation.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, certain shit can work at certain times. You know, like, it's a mental fucking game. And like, here's the thing: the technical fans, they're less than 5%.
Yeah.
Whereas like the emotional fans, which I consider myself one of, like, you know, I'm the guy who wants
that story. You have to love
the
thing too.
And you have to think like, this cunt's crazy and this guy's going fucking, he's putting it all on the line to be here and he's doing this and he's doing that, and like that matters to you, like, you know what I mean?
Of course,
And I think like a lot of these lads who just break down technique, like, there's an element of it, and fighting is incredibly technical. But a lot of the time, like, it's more an algorithm that anyone can't really observe. That's actually going on.
You need to be in it, like,
You can't see strength. You can't see other little things, like, you can't see somebody, like the way somebody's hand is constructed, his tendons are thicker and he can grab you fucking harder. You can't see that really, like, you know what I mean?
It's true.
So there's indeterminable factors here that, like, not indeterminable, but like, you can't observe these things. And if you pretend to, you're fucked, like, you're kind of
you
full
couldn't
of shit.
possibly, like, you couldn't.
And I think there's a lot more of that than we realise, like, as in, you know,
but even you
Rose in the Manjamunas or whatever the fuck. I didn't see her being anywhere near powerful enough to knock Joanna out. Like,
what the fuck was she made of, like?
But look at the way she sat into that punch. She was beautiful. She really loaded up. But that girl obviously has very explosive glutes in some way, shape, or form to be able to do that. You can't fucking see that, like. You know what I mean?
Transfer of power up through the body.
No, you can't, like.
But we both know, like, we've all played against scrum halves that are made of fucking iron and stuff, you know, and you're looking at the smallest fella in the field and he's like, what the fuck is this guy made of?
I've gotten a bit more into breaking down shit like that, and like a lot of.
Is it genetics? Is it?
No, well, okay, look.
Because there's this country strength too that I don't like. Absolutely, I'm not even bullshitting. Like, lads, I spoke to
farm strength.
You need only look at the entire pack of the Irish rugby team. Like 7 of the starters were farmers at one stage during, you know, so there has to be something there, like that culture strength, like.
I wonder is a lot of it just eating a fucking ton as well, because if you've ever been to a farm, it's just you come in and it's fuckloads of food. So you're moving around, you're lifting heavy enough shit, and then you come in and you eat a fuckload of food.
There wasn't a pick on me when up until fucking like I was 16, and easy from the age of 5 through to the age of 12, because I was farm working. I was eating 2 dinners a day, man dinners a day, because I was growing as well, and there wasn't a pick on me. But you're going out and you're fucking pulling up gates, shit kids aren't normally doing, like, you know. So it must be that too, because you are loading a ton of grub into yourself, like.
But I think a lot of it is like the spine, because I've tried to kind of figure out why are some cunts so much stronger. Like, you know, where does this internal strength come from, and like that farm strength, like. I think a lot of it has to do with the spine. And like how well structured, how good posture is, and you'll get guys with like very correct posture who aren't exactly like ridiculously strong. But I do think, in general, the better aligned you are, and the better like your balance of the body is, the more you can transfer kind of force throughout your body.
But that's in everything. I swear to God, when I can tell now if somebody's, because I for a long time what I did was to supplement what I was doing, I used to train people how to drive Ferraris. And I still do it the odd time, like, and it's for an experiences company, you know, you can buy this, and you can tell from 25 feet away by somebody's walk and their posture if they're going to be a good driver. And it's about 10% are good drivers, natural drivers. And you can see, and it doesn't matter if they drive for a living, it doesn't matter if they it's if it's in them naturally. You can tell by their walk if they don't have a well choreographed, well put together walk. You know, and one foot is turning in a bit, the back is a bit sloppy looking, like you're going, you won't have it, because the thing about a Ferrari is it will find the weakness in everything because it's on such a heightened level of sensitivity. So the smallest movements will get this thing, and you just see, and it could be anybody. I had a 56-year-old woman one day. She was genius. She beat most men at any kind of style of high-powered driving. Like. But she had it. She walked like a fucking Marine. But a Marine that was maybe a fucking diver as well. She just, with such fluidity to her walk, she was almost like she was doing Tai Chi while walking towards me. And she said it was just, it confirmed everything I thought. I went, I bet you any money she's going to be brilliant.
Right.
And it was the whole family were walking towards me, so I didn't know who it was. And it was like, it's for our mum. And it was like, good. Because you just knew and after hundreds and thousands of drivers, you just second nature, you can go, yeah, going to be a good driver. And it matches exactly what you said.
Yeah,
if somebody has a well put together walk, you can tell nearly everything you need to know about him. Like,
fuck, I'm surprised for driving that it applies that much. But even like,
well, I'm not talking about tipping around. I'm talking about lighting her up on the open motorway, going through bends, where people can see shit happening way ahead. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, look, if there isn't balance,
it's
much harder to maintain something. Like the structure of your body. If you're holding yourself up and you're moving your body around, and there's something leaning on, there's a muscle group working particularly hard just to do that. It's less efficient.
Yeah.
And that not even less that strength kind of balance. Like you're going to be strong in that area. Say your lower back is always supporting your head because your head's leaning over. Your lower back's going to be quite strong.
Yeah.
So if I try and challenge that area of your body by crushing your spine there, or by pushing your body into the fence and trying to manipulate your back, it's going to be hard to do that.
Yeah.
But if I pull on the top of your head there, probably
that's where it's going to give.
There's weakness in that area, and the less balanced you are, the more those areas of weakness can be exposed. The balance is the key to developing true strength. I think.
So I remember seeing a guy one night. It was down in it was West Cork. And this lad was just, if he was 11 stone, he was soaking wet.
Right.
And it took 5 bouncers to pull this lad out of the fucking thing. He was weird, redneck, still wearing the wellies in, smelled like green diesel. He'd been driving a tractor all day, drank a ton of cider, smashing bottles on the ground. He's just a lunatic, just natural born savage. Probably deeply depressed about something, but just couldn't get it out because he's so country, you know what I mean? But it took 5 monsters to pull him out the door. But there was nothing to him, but everything was working at 100%.
Yeah, every little bit of sinew was connected.
There was veins on top of his veins, and I just looked at, because I knew one of the bouncers was like, he kind of shot me a glance, like, what the fuck is this? He was like trying to pull a honey badger out the door or something. It was just every bit of this lad. And he wasn't fighting him, he was just planted. Planted, like.
Well, the thing that often surprised me when I first got into this was some guys look unbelievably strong.
Yeah.
And then you start grappling with them and they're complete pussies. Or not even complete pussies, but their bodies are actually just not that well put together.
Yeah.
Like, you put pressure on their elbow, it'll come, it'll kind of collapse in. Or you put weight in the right place and everything just falls into where you want it to be. And then you meet lads who look like fucking plumbers and they're tubby cunts. They don't look anything. And you start grappling with them, and every joint is unbelievably well connected, and they're extremely flexible, and they grab something, and you're like, Jesus, that's a deck grip, and you're trying to free your hand, I try and go back to the spine always, and it's like, well, are those boys extremely well connected? But I met lads with shit enough posture who are incredibly well put together and strong, and just all of their joints function independently, and they can move really well, and it's interesting, I still haven't fully figured it fucking out,
But even I believe it or not, I spoke with my 96-year-old grandfather about this. Still lives in Care. And he was talking about. He goes, he says, but because I was like, how are you still going and still fully functioning? Himself and the grandmother still live totally independently.
Right.
And he goes, you never took a multivitamin your entire fucking life. You don't. Particularly, you eat an Irish diet of roast chicken on Tuesdays, boil the fuck out of some bacon and cabbage for Wednesday. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And mutton on Thursdays. It's like, he says it's like cattle town. He says, look, the reality is we can we can kind of brush over it and all and hope that we're all going to be. This is me paraphrasing him, but essentially what he was talking about is good breeding.
Yeah, and there's an element to that, right?
But this was from his point of view. I think he
Yeah.
was talking about himself. He says, look, my father lived till 100, so did my mother, essentially, so did hers.
Yeah.
You know, so your father, he says, our son is probably going to live pretty long too. You may not, he says, because you're a fucking lunatic, you know what I mean? Because you're probably going to ride a car off somewhere.
Yeah, and there's a huge element of that, I suppose. And here's the thing, like, lifestyle definitely influences
Oh, for sure,
a lot
yeah.
of how you feel while you're alive, of how you... But there are other factors that you're not completely in control of, like... But I suppose, empower yourself in whatever way you can.
Yes.
Like, I still think, like... You know, do whatever you have to do to keep yourself happy while you're alive, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
enjoy the experience of being alive. But you don't necessarily determine how long you're going to be fucking
Yeah,
alive
yeah,
for, you
sure,
know what I mean?
yeah. But that was what I was saying. Like, the big thing with me is that never had any major medical issues, bar injury from like fucking a garage exploding on him. You know, this kind of stuff. But no,
Garage exploding.
it quite literally did.
Holy fuck.
He was welding a petrol tank back in like the 50s or something, and a guy had supposed to have flushed it. He didn't flush it. The thing fucking blew the roof off the building. He got skin graft, like
Jesus.
just on his hands and arms and stuff.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, nothing. But never fucking went on a, you know, ketogenic diet. You know,
Yeah.
not that he was ever an athlete. But what I'm saying is that he never once considered. He just went, well, just don't be going down. Don't go at anything too hard, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he'd found his true line,
Yeah.
and that's where he was sticking. He was happy to stick to that, and it just.
Funny, do you know Brian Burke?
Why do I know that? Does he play
He's
rugby
one
as
of the
well?
lads from Care, one of the Care boys. Like,
Yes,
he's
I
friends
do
with
know
him.
Brian. Yeah.
So his grandmother, I think, is 102 now.
Christ.
And we were out there 4 years ago when she was like 98 or whatever.
Right.
And she's standing up at the TV and shouting at fucking players, and all this, like, you know. And she drinks whiskey and like.
Wow.
Yeah. And like I was looking at her for ages, being like, "What is it? What's the fuck?
What is it?"
Yeah. But like you said there, maybe there are just good breeding certain people
But
like.
I think that's just one particular case.
She used to smoke. She used, you know.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the other side. The grandfather doesn't drink or smoke.
Right. Never drank.
Never drank or smoked.
Right. That's depressing.
But then his brother would enjoy a drink, and he was at our wedding, and he's got an older brother who only just finished being a journalist, only just retired, like last year.
What age is he?
97.
Jesus.
Still kind of parties like a bit,
Yeah.
like in that he plays poker 4 nights a week, like, you know, just.
I think a lot of it though is more social than we think. Like,
Yeah,
do you have a reason to be alive?
That's like
Yeah.
that was the thing. They stay going, they stay moving, and the brain stays going because
Yeah.
the body will follow. Like, you
Yeah.
know, it won't always follow, but they've just kind of got the dance that dance where they haven't thankfully gotten any major fucking fuck ups like or illnesses or whatever. Nothing has struck them. But it's just a weird one to see. And his father, I can remember my great grandparents. Like, do you know what I mean? They were. You're like, what the fuck? Nobody could. I'm
All of
30
mine were gone by the time I
This
was
is it.
born, pretty much.
I'm 36, and all my friends can barely remember the grandparents. And I'm like, nah, still have conversations with them. Like,
Yeah, that's mad.
it's bizarre, and like,
Bodes well for you.
I don't know. See, I don't know. Then my mother's people, they all die at regular ages, like 85. You know, 80, 85, they all died at regular ages. Like, so I don't know. Maybe I got her side, like. But it's, but yeah, I mean, like. That could be a side, but as you said, like, you could look at a fella there, he could look like a heap of fucking, you know, a bag of fucking jelly poured into a fucking thing, but he still could be an absolute fucking built like a train, like.
Yeah, it's funny. It's hard to know. Like, I'm still figuring it out. Basically, you know, I've come up like I've influenced my body by training shitloads. As in, you know, I've trained different ways and I've gotten different results and I've had different kind of things for a little while. But I don't like. We talk about things we understand, like type 1, type 2 muscle fibers, all this
Yes,
shit.
yeah.
There's more to it than that, like, you know, there's just, and like, look, muscular structure is huge. Like, I've spent ages trying to change the way my spine and like, you know, I've naturally from playing rugby was very like kind of
Pull forward,
everything kind of like shoulder blades backs, fucking, you know, bit of kyphosis going on. But I've influenced all that. But at the same time, I think naturally, like, I have an extremely low heart rate. I'm this type of lad who'll just go forever.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But I'm not extremely explosive. Like, you pin me to the floor, boom, 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 I'll move, and I'll wriggle forever.
Yeah.
But I won't be able to just fucking explode you off.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of weight training to try and get that explosive power and all that. Maybe I'm just not that filled with type 2 muscle fibers in those areas. Like, I don't know,
But you're more, well, I suppose, rather than you're more of a pickaxe specialist, like, in that you can go all day digging the fucking trench, like,
boom,
you know what I mean?
Boom, boom, like,
but
15 minutes in, I'll still be booming away, like, you know.
That could fuck up a lot of fellas too, like,
you know what I mean? Like, I think no matter what, like, fighting is more a mental battle than a physical battle. You know, it's much more about how you adopt your physiology to what it is. Because there are a million ways to win a fight. You know, at the end of the day, like,
you get caught with anything, like.
Yeah, there's a million ways to lose, there's a million ways to win, but you adopt whatever you are to what you want to do. So how, like, look, I can't outpower most guys. I'm not a very strong middleweight even, like, you know.
Right.
Like, I feel like most lads are just able to push me around a bit, do whatever. But at the end of the day, I can use that. Like, I can use that force that he has against me. Like, against himself. I can stop him from crushing me in certain ways by just building my frames, using my bones properly, doing things properly. Like, and even just letting him use that strength for a while, because the heart has to supply the blood to get the muscles. You know,
you can't put muscles on the chin either.
Yeah, and like, you know? Like, a lot of the time for the first few minutes of any real contest, like where I'm like sparring with a lad and doing that, all I'm trying to do is get him to exert force, get him to use energy, and like not getting dominated by that energy. So it's like, how much can I make you expend and not really use anything myself, or not even like not use anything? But if we're on equal expenditure, I gotta know that I'm gonna last longer than you will. Like, so even if we have to get to that point of like 7 minutes in, I see you taking a few like, and fear coming into your eyes a little bit. Then I'm like, okay, I've gotten to the point where I need to be to release the power that I have. But I don't have sick power. I can't just go in and like, boom, 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 you're done. I'm not going to be that Mike Tyson guy. But it's about adapting it to where I need to be. Like, I feel like I could fight those type of athletes easily and just let them wear themselves, and then 6-7 minutes in, it's my time.
You'd have a pretty resilient fucking head anyway. From taking fucking punishment from big ass rugby players.
You know,
pretty much all
brothers.
Your brothers, right,
Two mad bastards who were fucking beating the shit out of me from the age of 6 or 7. Like,
do you outside of fighting them? Would you do anything like Pilates or yoga training?
Yeah, so I did about 4 years of yoga. So, like I said, when I started playing rugby, or when I stopped playing rugby and started doing martial arts, I couldn't touch my toes. I noticed like I can't get my feet where I need them to be to do like certain things in jiu-jitsu. I couldn't get hooks in guys' backs from a lot of positions. I'd have to move my hips loads just to get a hook in. So I got really big into like becoming more flexible and getting my spine straight and doing all this. And through that, like, did a lot of fairly intense yoga for a while. I was doing it about 4 or 5 times a week. And really enjoyed it. Like, I got really into it, like, you know, and started doing quite a bit of meditation and stuff like that, and, you know, became really like just aware of your own bullshit, like aware of like how much you make yourself panic on a daily basis where there's absolutely no need for it. Like,
geez, a lot of people can learn from that. Holy fuck.
And I think yoga is great. I think most people, like, I don't know if it has to be yoga. I think you can adapt it to whatever, but most people need to be, you know, they call it mindfulness.
I like to go hunting.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. It can be whatever the fuck you want it to be, but it is that chill out period of like, let your mind be blank. And observe it.
Get rid of the
phone. Like, lie down and fucking pay attention to how your brain tries to work, and observe how it's bullshit, and observe how it's kind of just like, no, that's, you know, that's primal fucking thinking. And that's a primal response to a situation where we have a society. And the vast majority of your reactions are just reflex, and you can stop that reflex. You can observe it and consciously stop it.
Do you think a lot of that is the fact that people are probably a tad claustrophobic given the amount of pressures that are on them from social media, how close quarters we live in the last fucking 100 years?
Yeah, but you know, it's perspective. Again, like, you see people who've lived, you know, like, I lived in London for 2 years.
Right.
And I found it so much more claustrophobic than here.
Oh, Christ,
But at the same time, it is your perspective on it.
Yeah.
So like,
I suppose. Yeah.
you know, the first 6 months I was getting on the tube being like, holy fuck, this.
Oh no,
thing,
I'm there.
you know?
I'm there for 5 days next week, and I'm that's actually giving me a bit of a pain in my bollocks. Like,
Yeah,
now that I'm over the palpitation stage, because I'm like, all right, fuck, I just but it's just like, ugh.
Again, you control how you feel.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I would like that thing of having somebody an inch away
Oh
from your
my
face.
god, yeah.
And they're angry and they're repressed and they want to just explode and you're like, Jesus Christ, I fucking hate being here. You know? And that was the vast majority. Like, look, don't get me wrong, I still wouldn't like to go back to that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're in control of how you feel.
Yeah,
during
of course,
that,
yeah.
You know, to a degree. And you're in control of your thought process during that. So, like, where do you want to guide that? How are you using that time now to be, like, are you just going to be like, this fucking cunt an inch away from my face, what the fuck? Just get away from me, like, move away. He can't move, he has to be there too. He's got to go to his job.
At that point, what mechanism do you use to go, oh, switch gears here now, Will?
Yeah,
Oh,
or what can I think about during this time that could be productive? So what I used to do then was like coming home, I used to train out and shoot fighters and acting.
Right.
And like on the way back, because the tube, you'd have a bit more space because it was like 10:30 in the evening. And I'd sit down in the tube and I'd write up my notes from training, right?
Yeah.
So the next day, I'd get in the tube at like fucking 7 in the morning and I'd be going in towards Moorgate where I used to work. Like I worked in New Broad Street, just off Liverpool Street.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Oh my God.
And I was on the Northern Line. I lived out in Ballum, like.
Oh,
so
did you?
Yeah. So I'd be 6 or 7 fucking tubes waiting to get on, like.
Oh man.
And you'd be in this crowd, like a horde of people just marching onto the thing. Then you get on, and like, you're like, right, how can this not be this shit? Just go over the technique you learned yesterday. What did you do? What can you apply? You know, how can your brain learn during this period of time?
Yeah.
So I do, like, you know, visualization.
You didn't
It's
swing
much
an arm and
bollocks
hit
as
anybody.
fuck. But like, I would just go over the techniques I'd learned over the last few days and continuously kind of repeat them in my mind and go like, how would you repeat it on this body? How would you repeat it on that body?
Yeah.
How would you know? And then be like, okay, but now he's doing this. He's shoving up under your neck. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So, in a way, like I used to use that as exercise for my brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so that time became like, no, you're not
very
angry.
reflective, like.
Yeah,
well,
you're not angry as fuck. You're learning during this time.
Yeah.
You know. And then, like, I'd nearly be disappointed getting off the tube because I'd be like, oh, fuck, I was just in the middle of that technique. You know what I mean? And, like, once or twice I missed my stop because I was really deep in this buzz of, like, okay, then he does this and now you move on to that.
I want to be that person watching you in that moment.
Yeah,
the other side
no.
going, what's that guy thinking right now? Just a smile on your face, just staring at the ground, like.
But, like, things like, you can be in a shit environment and still fucking have control over your own happiness. And
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
Like, and that was one thing I think yoga really fucking gave me, is in
course,
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
control how you feel, you can control your reaction to a degree. It's all perspective at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And guess who the master of your perspective is? You are.
Yeah.
So go out and fucking master it, like, you know.
Yeah.
And I really fucking got a buzz out of yoga. And I think, look, I've stopped doing it as much. I haven't kind of done any formal classes in about 5 or 6 months. But the buzz you get from it, the feeling of like just kind of.
Because I've been toying with the idea of doing.
Have you ever done any?
No, not really.
That's definitely worth
I
doing.
did Pilates before, all right, but it was actually for and I remember it was for a TV or a radio station thing. It was more, let's see, can we get Tom to do fucking mental shit? Like, and it was supposed to be postnatal Pilates, like, and they had me doing this shit, like, but I actually kind of enjoyed it while we were doing it. Your one was like, are you naturally very flexible? And I was like, I did martial arts from the age of 4 to the age of 20, so.
Yeah, so starting young is huge, like.
Yeah, it was, and it's. But I hadn't fucking done a tap. I stood on stage and drank pints, telling jokes, like, you know what I mean. But she would said, no, you only need about a fortnight at this, and we'll have you up to a decent level because you already have it. Like, plus I've short limbs too, so it's kind of worked well for me.
But again, balance, like, as in, like, I think even I've watched guys who, like Ben, one of the lads I train with a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he was taekwondo from a very early age, and his hips are unbelievably strong.
Right.
Now he barely does any taekwondo anymore. You know, he kind of focuses on other aspects of martial art, like he'd wrestle a lot.
Yeah.
And in ways, like, because I have a good bit more experience than him, I can out wrestle him.
Yeah.
But his hips are so fucking strong.
Really?
Compared to mine. And it's from, like, he's a very good spine, he's very posturally correct. But he's been putting his legs out from an early age. And
Yeah, that makes sense.
you know, controlling, you know, his feet with the kind of inner core muscles and doing all these kind of motions of, like, You have to have extremely good control. You have to have the strength to hold your leg out here. And he doesn't use that anymore, but still because of that, I can't manipulate the guy's hips. I can't do much with it. And it's probably 12, 13 years since he's done any of that sort of training, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Because his hips have developed that way, you know.
Because I'd always thought, like, because I haven't done anything in fucking years, you're like, oh, well, does that just all go away? Like, you know, but then I suppose when you do instill something from an early age, from the age of 4, quite literally my first class was age 4.
But it's balanced, like, again, if you want to put your leg out and hold it there, the rest of your body has to be able to stabilise that leg.
Yeah, to counter.
Like, I got into weights as a kid. Like, you can... I'm not saying weights are bad, but you definitely need to be technically correct doing them.
Of course, yeah.
I went in and I was just like, no, lift real heavy shit, get buff, get huge, be strong as fuck. But what you're doing, like, you're destroying your body by doing it, like, do you know what I mean?
I love to see that in the t-shirt.
But, like, you know, I was there fucking picking up 40 kilo dumbbells and like, doing lunges with them and all this shit, right? But I'm pulling my hip out of position by doing that, and then it's less stable, and then I can't lift my leg as high because my hip is pulled into a position where my spine can't really function fully, and my core can't stabilize it, and then I don't have any strength through range of motion in my legs. So if I kick somebody, oh shit, my spine isn't fully behind that. There's no real power transferring into that.
Yeah,
it's kinetically weak, and it's inefficient, basically.
Yeah.
But if you do things where your body has to function fully, like even like body weight movement, like look at breakdancers, like
Jesus Christ.
I think like if I have a kid, I'm going to get him into gymnastics and breakdancing as early as I can. Like,
I did this is an eye opener, right? I did my 7 card Spain got hired to do the UCH Panto last year, right? I totally agreed. At first I didn't know what the fuck, but then I went, no, I need this because this is a brand new experience. I need to see what professional people do in another world, right? And plus, I'll get a new 20 minutes for my fucking stand-up anyway, right? I show up and my 7 Spain were embarrassed. The level of professionalism out of these people, right? They were world champions from everywhere had come in.
Dancers, man, they're some athletes.
This guy,
in general, like no matter what form of dance it is,
God, like this chap, he played the lead for a finish, right? But he had the trifecta. He could dance, act, and sing, and he's good looking, right? So sitting down beside him, and he's originally from Limerick, right? We were just chatting away. I was banjazzed because this is a whole new world for me. Like, because when you know yourself, when you're forcing something, you're going to be way more tired at it than somebody who's not. But plus, they were all pro dancers. But I'm sitting down beside him, and it's like he's your height, right? He's built like a fucking quarterback, right? He's got that V going on with the back, big arms, fucking big, massive calves. Like only any sports player would be fucking fanatical to have these calves. And I said to him, I was like, "Jeez, John, you must have played a fair bit of ball back in the day, like talking rugby." And the guy, Campus could be, he's like, "Jesus, no." It's all dancing hard, sweetheart. You were like, holy fuck. The irony of you looked like a Greek god walking around the place, like, and you got that all. And in my head, I was thinking, prior to this, I was so close-minded going, young fella doing dancing. Absolutely do dancing, because you're going to look like that and stay straight. All the women around you have no idea how good this is.
But think of what they're doing. They're moving their body in every possible way. You know, they're supporting their own body weight. They're lifting other people. They're doing
phenomenal,
right? But they're going through full range with their joints. They're going through full range with everything. They're using their core. They're doing, and there's nothing clashing into them. There's nothing smashing their body.
They're fluid.
They're not being destroyed. So like, you look at me, like, my shoulders are fucking one's over there, one's over here, because I've just been battered for 20 odd years, you know.
Yeah.
But like, had I just moved fully and not like and moved with a little bit of resistance, like lifting somebody at the odd time and doing it, just moving your body is fucking amazing. Like,
this guy was built like this from dancing.
Yeah.
He looked like a Greek god from dancing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, holy fuck.
But they have to move in every possible way, so everywhere is gonna.
He was ready for, like, I said, why do you? And he says, well, you have to be ready for any show you're put into. I just came off a show of cats, where he basically dressed as a fucking cat, and they did a world tour, and he's throwing lads that are smaller than him over his fucking head. Like. So I said, okay, you do have to be built like a.
They have to be able to get their leg up past their fucking head, and be able to do these things. So you have to train to be able to do that. So they're stretching from an early age. They're moving around all the time. All their joints are fully functional. All their, Whereas you look at like even a lot of like the rugby player lads, like they're unbelievably fucking tough lads. But can they perform any of these movements?
fucking hope.
How many lads in the Irish rugby team can do the splits?
Yeah.
Very few, because they don't really need to. Like, it's not super important.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, I think they're getting more into that sort of thing now, and you are going to get a lot more like functional athletes coming out of Ireland, like coming out of, you know, all sports. Because we do, to a degree, understand. Like, we went on to, like,
but that's why Zebo was never fucking, because he looks like he floats around the field, like, you know, and they go, oh, does he have wheels? You're like, look at the distance he's covering. He just doesn't look like he's covering a lot. And the guy was probably not hard into the gym, but he just had it, you know. But probably wasn't doing
it all the time, moved right, like, you know, just. I think we focus far too much on kind of like ranges of motion. What can you push in that range of motion? Like, you know, how much can you bench? Like,
that's it.
Like, how applicable is that to any?
You're looking at numbers there.
But how are you moving that? You know, are your elbows fucking in under that? Are you getting through full range of motion with your shoulders while you're doing that? Like,
but that's the thing I noticed, and something that nobody ever spoke about. And I mean, I rarely get to talk to people who know anything about rugby, but one thing I noticed, and to go back to Zebo, his presentation of the ball after the tackle was second to none. Second, he knew exactly where to put it, and there was no like, oh fuck, it's after getting caught under me here, ruck over me quick, get it out. He always had it back, because like that, even down to his fingernails, he knew where every part of his body was supposed to be. Like. And sometimes you're kind of going, I don't think it was spotted enough. Like if he was in New Zealand, he probably would be. Yeah, they don't like. Now you're looking at the likes of Damien McKenzie coming out of New Zealand. The guy's smaller than me.
But look at the New Zealand team in general. Like,
they're all gone smaller, like
a little bit. Yeah. They're all tougher looking.
Yeah,
you know, they're sinewy looking. Like, you know,
you had those wiry muscles. Everybody has that wiry muscles now. Like, and it's. And probably in 5 years Ireland will follow as well. The rest of the world will follow.
And I think they're getting more that way. Even already, like I see how they. Like I was down in Cork Weightlifting Club before I moved up here.
Yeah.
And I used to train there a lot. And like they have some of the Munster under 20 lads coming in, and they're not getting them to do real heavy weight. Like they are lifting some fucking seriously heavy shit.
Jesus, yeah.
But it's more about like keep your spine braced while you're doing this. You know, move properly.
Okay, yeah.
And it was great to see, because it's like, right, they're going to be serious athletes now, and they are. They're already fucking animals.
Oh my god!
Like you're there, you're 28, you're watching this fucking like 19-year-old like, fucking lift double what you can lift. You're like, fuck.
Monster stuff.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Incredible athletes, like
So I know you're probably caught for time training wise and all the rest of it. So are we? So we're allowed to know nothing about the fucking TV show?
Right, it's going to be incredibly controversial in about 3 weeks. That's what I'm saying, right? So a load of shit happened over there, a lot of absolutely mental stuff. Basically, I don't know what I can say. Like,
well, look, don't compromise it anyway. Like,
but what I will say, like in 3 weeks' time, or 3 to 4 weeks' time, some ridiculous shit's going to come out, and we'll see what happens.
Fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, I'll put all your people where people can find you and contact you and all the rest of that inside the bio of this. And I suppose just stay tuned for the next fucking Will fucking Fleury moment.
Don't worry, I'll be fighting some ridiculous cunts soon anyway.
Great stuff. Thanks a million, Will.
See you, man.